Helping others is often seen as a noble act. Since childhood, we're taught that helping is a moral duty, a sign of empathy, a reflection of a good heart. But here is a truth we rarely talk about. Not all help leads to good outcomes. Not everyone who asks for help truly wants to rise. Sometimes good intentions slowly turn into emotional exhaustion, disappointment, and even self-loss. This doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you're human. Being a good person does not mean you have to save everyone. There are certain types of people who, if helped too much, will quietly pull you down into their problems, not because they are evil, but because help without wisdom creates dependence, not growth. In this discussion, we'll explore 7 types of people you should not help excessively. Not to judge them, but to protect your energy, your time, and your mental clarity. Because even kindness needs boundaries. Number 1. People who refuse to change. One of the most draining types of people is someone who never wants to change. They often come with heavy stories, endless problems, convincing complaints. At first glance, they look like victims of circumstance, people who deserve help. But if you look deeper, the real issue isn't the lack of support, it's their inner resistance to change. They're skilled at explaining their suffering. They can describe how unfair life is, how cruel people are, how nothing ever works for them. When you offer solutions, advice, or real help, they listen, they nod, they promise to try. But time passes and nothing changes. The same habits, the same mistakes, the same complaints. Some people feel comfortable being victims. As victims, they don't have to take full responsibility for their lives. They receive sympathy, attention, and constant rescue. Change feels scary because change requires effort, discipline, and courage. Helping someone who refuses to change is like pouring water into a leaking container. No matter how much you give, nothing is ever retained. Eventually, you don't feel compassionate, you feel exhausted. And worse, they may begin to rely on you emotionally. When you pull back, they accuse you of changing, of becoming cold, of not caring. But the truth is simple. Change can only happen when someone chooses it. You can show the path, you cannot walk it for them. Stopping excessive help is not cruelty, it is wisdom. Number 2. People who always blame others. The second type is people who never take responsibility. When they fail, it's someone else's fault. When life is hard, the system is unfair. When relationships collapse, the other person is always wrong. There is always a scapegoat. They tell their stories with emotion and conviction. You feel sympathy, you want to help. But your help never reaches the root because the root is a mindset that rejects accountability. Blaming others protects their ego. Admitting mistakes would mean they need to change. So the cycle repeats. You give advice, they try briefly, then fail again. And suddenly, you become part of the blame. Helping people who refuse responsibility only reinforces their denial. Growth cannot exist without self-reflection. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is step back and let them face themselves. Number 3. People who exploit your kindness. Some people don't demand help aggressively. They arrive gently, with warmth, emotional stories, and subtle pressure. At first, the requests are small, reasonable, but slowly they grow larger and more frequent. Your help stops being a favor, it becomes an expectation. They rarely thank you sincerely. When you say no, they make you feel guilty. This is emotional manipulation, even if unconscious. Your kindness becomes a tool. Your empathy becomes leverage. Without boundaries, kindness turns to weakness. Walking away from people like this is not heartlessness, it is self-respect. People who truly value you will respect your limits. Number 4. People who don't appreciate help. Some people accept help but never value it. No gratitude, no acknowledgement, only new demands. They see your effort as an obligation, not a gift. If the outcome isn't perfect, they complain. Helping someone who doesn't appreciate you slowly kills your motivation to give. Healthy help is always accompanied by respect. When respect disappears, so should unlimited help. Number 5. People who drag you into their problems. Some people don't just have problems, they pull others into them. They expect you to take sides, join conflicts, fight their battles. Suddenly, your peace is disturbed, your reputation is affected, your life becomes complicated. Helping should never cost your stability. You are not required to drown just because someone else is sinking. Number 6. People who repeat the same mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but repeating the same mistake over and over, despite advice and help, is different. Your help becomes a safety net that protects them from consequences. And without consequences, there is no learning. Eventually, you feel stuck, reliving the same problem with them again and again. That's not patience, that's emotional burnout. Number 7. People who are never there for you. The final type is people who only appear when they need something. They vanish when you struggle. They're unavailable when you need support. The relationship flows in one direction. Helping people like this slowly erodes your self-worth. Helping others is noble, but kindness without wisdom becomes self-destruction. You are not responsible for saving everyone. You are responsible for protecting your own well-being. Setting boundaries doesn't close your heart, it keeps it intact. Sometimes the best help is not rescuing someone, but allowing them to learn from the consequences of their own choices. When you stop helping the wrong people, you finally have the energy to help the right ones, including yourself. Before we end today's story, please drop your country or city in the comments below so we can feel connected across the miles. If this story moved or inspired you, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Daily Inspiration. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay inspired.